Okay, so this is our book report video. This is for our analytical reading. Let us introduce ourselves. My name is Nabila Taradia, and I will be the narrator, scriptwriter, also the editor for later.
So my name is Rani Olivia, and in this video I'll be the scriptwriter and the narrator.
And I'm Cynthia Pramata, and in here I will be a narrator and scriptwriter.
This is Harry Potter's first year in Hogwarts, only knowing how to live like a muggle, non-magical, because the Dursley despise anything magical. The first time Harry encountered a magical person was on his 11th birthday, when Hagrid gave him his letter to Hogwarts, a magical school. When he arrives at Hogwarts, everything about Hogwarts amazed him because everything looks magical. In the great hall where the welcoming feast happened, he met the headmaster of Hogwarts, Albus Dumbledore. Then there's the event around the Philosopher's Stone where Harry remembered that Hagrid took something from the Gringotts vault, and then not long after that, the Gringotts bank was robbed. The three of them decided to investigate the third floor that was forbidden to enter. When they stumbled into one of the doors, they met Fluffy, a three-headed big dog belonging to Hagrid. After they talked to Hagrid on how to handle the dog, they returned to their room. First, they play an instrument to make the dog sleep, get caught by devil's snare, got a key by flying on a broom, played a chess, and then the test finished with a logic test. Harry then advanced alone, and then he found Quirrell in the room, with the Voldemort at the back of his head. After getting the stone and defeated Quirrell and Voldemort by help of his mother's protection, Harry fainted. Then, during the last feast, Dumbledore gave Gryffindor hundreds of points, making them the winner of House Cup. The story ends with Harry returning to the Dursleys.
Harry Potter. Harry Potter is a son from Lily and James Potter, where Harry has green eyes that are similar to his mother and his hair is like his father. Harry has small and thin body. Also, he wears glasses. On his forehead, he has a scar that shapes like lightning. Harry is one of children who cannot be killed by Voldemort. Since childhood, Harry lived with a Muggle family, which is his aunt's family. He is very patient because the Muggle family treats him so bad, and he still accepts what they had done to him. Ron Weasley. He is thin and tall. He also has freckles on his face and pointy nose. His hands and foot are large. He is so analytical, but he is also temperamental. Hermione Granger. Hermione Granger is a witch from a Muggle family. She is a girl who likes reading. She is very smart and wise. Hermione has thick brown hair. Her front teeth are quite large. The way she thinks based on logic only, no matter the word hurts someone or not. Voldemort is a wizard who has been missing for many years since he failed to kill Harry Potter. Voldemort cannot have a shape if he doesn't share with other people's bodies. So far, Voldemort is in the shape of shadow and smoke. Voldemort shares a body with Professor Quirrell, who teaches the defense of black magic in Hogwarts. In Professor Quirrell's body, it has two faces in one head, where the face of Voldemort is covered by Professor Quirrell's turban. The exposition of the story starts when Harry was starting to be introduced to the magical world. He was also introduced to various classes that correlate to magic, like charms, potion, transfiguration, herbology, and others. We start to get to know Hogwarts layout, like the dorms, especially the Gryffindor dorms, the classroom, the Great Hall, the field to play Quidditch or to practice flying, and the Forbidden Forest. We also get to know the people like the professor and ghost insect of Hogwarts. In the rising action part, we started to see the relation between Harry, Hermione, and Ron grow as their adventure starts. And then we also see the genius side of Harry, especially in flying and defense against dark arts. Then comes the information about the Philosopher's Stone and the hunt of information to know more about the stone. We see an action of Quirrell that made us suspicious of him, and the detention in Forbidden Forest scene leads us to think of who is doing the evil action. In the climax, our daring heroes lead an adventure to the Lairs to get the Philosopher's Stone. There are tests and were put by the Professor, Hagrid, Sprout, Hooch, McGonagall, Snape, and Dumbledore. Hagrid with putting Fluffy to sleep, Sprout with the Devil's Snare, Hooch with the Snitch Fast Gay, McGonagall with the chess, Snape with the logic puzzle with potion, and lastly, Dumbledore with Aries mirror. In there, we have the climax of introduction of Voldemort. Following action, mostly retelling and the consequence of the action taken by Harry, with Dumbledore warned the student about Voldemort and the final feast. There are also points given by Dumbledore for this bravery, making them win the House Cup. Resolution of the story ends with our heroes leave Hogwarts for the next year. Coba gimana?
The story deals heavily with choices and fight against good versus evil. We see that there are tons of choices happening in the story that led to many consequences. In the later books, we know that the prophecy can be either Harry or Neville, but Voldemort chose Harry to be Mark, and thus causing a chain of events that made Harry to be the boy who lived. And then we see the various actions that Harry made, like rescuing Hermione and what it meant to the fight against Voldemort. I think I've always liked a fantasy story my whole life because it leads me to a whole new world where I can become someone that goes beyond my imagination. I admit that there are plenty of things that I did not like the Slytherins become a flat-out evil characters. The story becomes the foundation of everything that I love, and I will recommend this book to people who like fantasy story with tons of world building, with characters you love to hate and characters you love to love, and scenes that will make you smile in wonder.
To be honest, this is my first time to read this kind of genre, so everything seems interesting for me because all I read is a brand new. I expected that the story will show about magic only, but it is not. The story also shows about family and the sadness of Harry for being left among the Muggle family that doesn't like him.
This book is very interesting because this book is a fantasy book that can increase our imagination about magic power, with terms like muggles or spells. And the storyline is interesting because a child can be killed by an evil wizard, and suddenly the wizard disappears. Then, after many years, Harry learns magic and Voldemort returns to resemble one of the professors at Hogwarts.